The office writer types nearly the full 11-inch length of the paper.
Schematic is available at most dealers for just $11.95 down.
Everybody thought it's a good idea.
Are you ready to take a trip down memory lane? The 1960s were a time of innovation, style, and gadgets that once made life easier. But fast forward to today, and many of those items have become relics of the past. From quirky household tools to outdated technologies, we'll uncover the surprising things people once couldn't live without. Join me as we explore 50 things from the 1960s once necessary, now completely obsolete. You won't believe what has disappeared from our daily lives.
Get a Sony Betamax video recorder and automatically videotape that show while you're doing something else.
Betamax video recorders were released by Sony in 1975 and forever changed how people enjoyed TV and movies. With magnetic tape cassettes, they offered excellent video quality for that time and advanced features like Betascan for easy fast-forwarding. These devices allowed users to record and watch their favorite shows later.
I think the colouring of the dresses of today are absolutely gorgeous. Everybody's amazed.
The 1960s miniskirt epitomized rebellion and youthful freedom, redefining women's fashion. Popularized by British designer Mary Quant in 1965, the miniskirt wasn't her invention but her daring innovation. She shortened skirts even further than Courage's 1964 designs, creating a waist-skimming style that hit 6 to 7 inches above the knee. This bold fashion, dubbed the Chelsea look, resonated with London's daring youth, sparking global attention. Crafted from cotton gabardine or experimental PVC, these skirts often featured playful details like white collars, blending simplicity with a modern edge. Ideal for dynamic trends like the twist dance craze, the mini skirt became a symbol of liberation, challenging societal norms. Its audacity and charm cemented its place as a cultural phenomenon, though it's now more a nostalgic icon than a wardrobe staple. While the mini skirt redefined fashion with its daring simplicity and youthful energy, making television viewing flexible and convenient. At the time, Betamax seemed like the future of home entertainment. However, it faced a big problem. Early Betamax tapes could only record 1 hour of video. Then, its main competitor, VHS, came into the market, which quickly offered longer recording times of 2 to 4 hours. It was also cheaper and available from more brands. By the late 1980s, VHS dominated the market and Betamax faded away.
Dial telephone. Before calling any number, first secure the number from your new directory. Then remove the receiver and listen for the dial tone. It sounds like this.
With its circular dial and satisfying click-click rhythm, the rotary phone defined an era of deliberate and tactile communication. Introduced in the early 20th century but peaking in the mid-1900s, this ingenious device turned dialing into an experience. Each spin of the dial sent precise electrical pulses, signaling the telephone exchange to connect you to your desired number. Its mechanism was simple and brilliant. Numbers corresponded to clicks. 5 meant 5 pulses, creating a seamless link between mechanics and early telecommunication technology, though now replaced by the speed and versatility of smartphones. Rotary phones evoke nostalgia for a time when calls were more intentional. While the rotary phone brought people together through the tactile art of dialing, another Sony kept producing Betamax recorders until 2002, but their golden days were gone. Today, Betamax is a nostalgic reminder of how even great technology can be lost when it doesn't meet consumer needs. Next, we will discuss discs that were the soundtrack to memories, carrying music and emotions like nothing else could.
And Zenith's famous MicroTouch 2G tone arm makes it impossible to accidentally ruin your fine stereo records.
Vinyl records became the heart of music in the 20th century. Launched in 1948 by Columbia Records, they introduced the long-playing LP format, which could hold up to 42 minutes of music per side. This allowed artists to create entire albums, transforming how music was shared and appreciated. By the 1970s, vinyl records were everywhere. Music lovers adored their warm sound and artistic album covers, making them iconic in every home. But then came cassette tapes and CDs. These newer formats were more portable and easier to use, and vinyl slowly disappeared from mainstream music collections. Yet it never truly vanished. By the 2000s, vinyl made a comeback. Collectors and new fans embraced its classic charm and rich sound. Today, vinyl represents a timeless era of music and remains a cherished medium for audiophiles.
This is a cigarette vending machine. It's able to count money and then give you a selection of different products at different prices and deliver those products to you.
Cigarette vending machines were a hallmark of 1960s convenience, symbolizing the era's casual relationship with smoking. These sleek, chrome-plated devices could be found in diners, cafes, and restaurants, dispensing cigarette packs at the drop of a few coins. They captured the spirit of the time, offering quick and easy access to a habit deeply ingrained in social life. However, as awareness of smoking's health risks grew and concerns about underage access mounted, their prominence began to wane. In 1989, regulations restricted these machines to bars and age-restricted venues, signaling their decline. Today, cigarette vending machines are now remembered as cultural artifacts of the past.
First, IBM electric typewriters made typing easier. Then we improved the way typing looked and revolutionized its touch and feel.
Typewriters were once the ultimate writing tool. Introduced in the 19th century, they revolutionized document creation. The QWERTY keyboard became the standard, and skilled typists brought speed and precision to offices. The 1930s saw the rise of electric typewriters, making typing easier and more efficient. These machines were essential in homes and businesses for decades, filling the air with their rhythmic clicking. As personal computers emerged, typewriters became less relevant. But they didn't disappear completely. Writers and collectors today treasure their vintage appeal. Some even use typewriters to stay distraction-free while crafting their stories. Despite their decline, typewriters remain an icon of a time when words flowed through inked ribbons onto crisp pages.
And today I'm taking a look at slide projectors.
The Kodak Carousel slide projector revolutionized art history lectures. It built on earlier slide projectors but with key innovations that made it indispensable in classrooms. Its circular tray could hold 80 to 140 35mm slides, allowing professors to preload entire lectures without manual resets. Thanks to its gentle gravity feed, the carousel prevented jamming, and a locking ring on the tray kept slides secure during use, even if the projector was bumped or dropped. This technology, once cutting edge, is now obsolete and replaced by digital presentations. But for decades, the Kodak Carousel was the backbone of visual learning, illustrating the evolution of teaching tools and the march of technological progress.
You want high performance from your tape deck? Get the high-performance tape.
Cassette tapes emerged in the 1960s as an easy way to record and share music. Tiny, portable, and personal, cassette tapes changed how we experienced music forever. By the 1970s, they had become a cultural phenomenon. These little plastic rectangles fit perfectly into the Sony Walkman, allowing people to carry their favorite tunes everywhere. Fans created mixtapes, a deeply personal way to express their feelings and musical tastes. When CDs entered the scene in the 1990s, cassette tapes lost their spotlight. Yet, they didn't fade quietly. Nostalgia brought them back, and even some modern artists now release albums on cassettes. They're a reminder of simpler times when music wasn't just heard but felt through carefully curated playlists. The music industry saw the rise of new technologies that promised even more convenience.
Woolies have cut 35p off 100 of their hottest cassettes. Queen.
Helen Reddy.
Barry White.
Back then, the 8-track tape revolutionized the music world, offering convenience and portability that vinyl couldn't match. Developed in 1964 by a group including Bill Lear, Ford, and General Motors, the 8-track became the go-to format for in-car entertainment, allowing drivers to listen to music without the hassle of vinyl records. Its distinctive cartridge design provided seamless playback, making it a hit for road trips. However, by the 1980s, the 8-track's popularity waned as newer formats like cassette tapes and CDs emerged. Today, 8-tracks are nostalgic relics, often found in thrift shops where collectors search for rarities like Broadway shows or big band recordings, proving that even the most iconic technologies can fade, replaced by something more efficient. Capturing a memory in the picture forever, who wouldn't want that? Let's talk about the trendy Polaroids of the 70s.
I press this button, a new era in photography begins. Polaroid introduces sonar automatic focusing.
Polaroid cameras revolutionized photography by letting people see their photos immediately. So, how were the pictures taken? Well, it was quite simple. Snap, wait, and smile. Polaroid cameras made every picture an instant treasure. Introduced in 1948, they used a unique film process to produce pictures in seconds. By the 1970s, models like the SX70 became hugely popular, making Polaroid the go-to choice for instant photography. Families and friends loved capturing and sharing moments on the spot. Digital cameras and smartphones later took over, making Polaroids seem outdated. But nostalgia brought them back, and the Polaroid brand found new life with updated instant cameras. Today, they're as much about creativity as capturing memories. Polaroid cameras remind us of a time when photos weren't just taken, they were cherished. Did a simple household object like the radio become a symbol of modernity and design innovation in the 1960s?
That district, Mr. Tracy, is covered by wet wash, Wally. He should be checking in at any time.
In the 1960s, Bakelite radios symbolized modernity and innovation, crafted from the durable plastic that replaced expensive wood. These radios were more than just functional. They were works of art with bold, vibrant colors and unique designs. The Catalan Corporation led the way, offering stunning radios in shades like bright red, turquoise, and marbled patterns. American-made Bakelite radios were the pinnacle of design, with manufacturers like Motorola creating iconic models such as the Art Deco-inspired red and black radio with an S-shaped grille. Meanwhile, the Scotty Dog radio by Remler brought playful charm to the era, forever tied to the Art Deco movement. Once a household necessity, these radios are now coveted by collectors as timeless pieces of history, blending style with sound.
Here is the revolutionary Morris Mini Minor. The engine is mounted across the car, so that it can take 4 people in comfort with all their luggage.
Mini Coopers debuted in 1959, designed to be compact and fuel-efficient during post-war shortages. Mini Coopers were a mix of clever design and racing spirits, a small car but big in impact. Sir Alec Isigonis created the original Mini with a transverse engine and front-wheel drive, maximizing passenger space. It was a small car with a big personality. Then came the Mini Cooper in 1961, built for speed and performance by racing legend John Cooper. These zippy little cars dominated the Monte Carlo Rally, winning thrice between 1964 and 1967. They became cultural icons, loved by both racers and everyday drivers. When BMW revived the Mini in 2000, they combined retro charm with modern features. Mini Coopers remains a symbol of fun and innovation, proving great things come in small packages.
Record up to 6 hours on T120 VHS cassettes from RCA, Polaroid, or Sony.
I can record a lot of programs at these prices. I'm buying.
In the 1960s, a revolution in home entertainment began with the introduction of VHS tapes. These magnetic cassettes brought the magic of movies and TV shows into living rooms, giving people the power to watch their favorite films on demand. Families could record television broadcasts, creating a new era of convenience and control. VHS tapes quickly became a household staple, making video rentals a booming industry. Yet, as the digital age took over, ready to spin back to a time when light, mirrors, and music ruled the dance floor, let's relive the era of disco balls. Disco balls became the heart of nightlife in the 1970s, but their history dates back to the 1920s. These mirrored spheres reflected light in mesmerizing patterns, creating a magical atmosphere in dance halls. The disco movement brought them back into the spotlight, and they became a must-have for every club. Saturday Night Fever made disco balls a pop culture icon. Their glittering reflections matched the energy of the music and the era. Even as disco faded, these sparkling globes stuck around. Today, they're used in events and homes, adding charm and nostalgia. Disco balls remind us of nights filled with music, movement, and magic. Let's talk about hula hoops. In the late 1950s, a simple plastic ring revolutionized playtime, sparking a worldwide craze. Inspired by Australian bamboo hoops, the hula hoop was introduced to the American market by Wham-O in 1958, and it quickly became a cultural sensation. Kids everywhere spun the brightly colored hoops around their waists, hips, and necks, mastering the rhythmic motion. The toy's contagious popularity peaked, with over 100 million units sold in just a few years. Hula hoop contests, advertisements, and even celebrity endorsements flooded the scene. But as the 1960s progressed, the hoop's hold on the public's attention began to wane. Once a symbol of fun and fitness, the hula hoop is now a nostalgic relic. Its plastic ring is a reminder of a simpler, carefree era. Wood paneling was a 1970s interior design favorite, giving homes warmth and texture. From shiplap to rustic finishes, these panels made walls come alive. They were used in basements, living rooms, and anywhere homeowners wanted a cozy touch. However, by the 1980s, wood paneling fell out of fashion and was replaced by sleeker designs. Now, it's making a comeback. Today's wood panels are refined, offering various styles like reclaimed wood or modern slats. They create depth and elegance, fitting into both traditional and contemporary spaces. Wood paneling is proof that old trends can become new again. Wood paneling is a cozy decor that surely found its way from being outdated to modern chic. In the 1960s, electric typewriters revolutionized the workplace, combining mechanical precision with motorized ease. A marvel of engineering, they offered a smoother, faster typing experience with a feather-light touch, reducing operator fatigue and increasing efficiency. Gone were the days of jamming keys and inconsistent impressions. These machines produced crisp, uniform text perfect for creating professional documents and multiple carbon copies. IBM's iconic Selectric typewriter, launched in 1961, introduced the groundbreaking spherical type element, eliminating the need for a moving carriage and enabling swift, accurate character selection. This innovation set a new standard in office productivity. Once a staple of business and communication, the electric typewriter is now a relic of a bygone era, replaced by digital technology but fondly remembered as a symbol of mid-century progress. What's green, furry, and wildly fun? These quirky plant figurines took the 1970s by storm.
A new pet.
Chia.
Chia Pet, the pottery that grows. It's fun and easy. Soak your chia, spread the seeds, keep it watered.
Chia Pets first appeared in 1977, turning simple pottery into something playful. Users spread chia seeds on the ceramic figures, watered them, and watched them grow into lush fur. From rams to pop culture characters, these living figurines were a hit with kids and adults alike. The catchy ch-cho-cho-chia jingle made them a holiday favorite. Though seen as a fad, Chia Pets never fully disappeared. Today, they're celebrated as quirky gifts and fun gardening projects. They show us how creativity and a little greenery can brighten any day.
The Le Mans race is run on a public highway with most of its hazards, and drivers hold themselves to a modest 100 to 120 miles per hour.
Jet-powered cars ignited imaginations with their futuristic promise. Chrysler's turbine car, unveiled in 1963, stood at the forefront. 50 shimmering bronze cars powered by gas turbines were loaned to everyday drivers to gauge public interest. These vehicles boasted smooth acceleration, multi-fuel capability, and a whisper of a revolution in automotive design. Across the Atlantic, Rover and BRM teamed up to create the gas turbine Rover BRM, which made history at Le Mans in 1963 as the first turbine-powered car to compete in the iconic race. Meanwhile, jet dragsters dominated racetracks, thrilling crowds with fiery speed. Despite their innovation, practical hurdles like cost and efficiency grounded these ambitions. By the 1970s, the era of jet-powered cars had passed, leaving behind a legacy of audacious ingenuity.
Is the Princess phone, an exciting new extension telephone. Hello, I'm Marilyn Vanderburg.
Rotary phones are by far one of the most interesting items of the 1970s. First introduced in the late 19th century, they became household staples by the mid-20th century. They used a clever dial system to send pulses that connected calls. Every spin of the wheel was satisfying, and the clicking sound made dialing feel important. The 1960s Model 500 was a classic, available in bright colors to match modern homes. But push-button phones and eventually mobile phones replaced them. Today, rotary phones are collector's items, admired for their charm and design. They remind us of a time when every call felt deliberate and connected. Now, the touchscreens might have made our lives much easier, but it's hard to ignore the nostalgic appeal that rotary phones still hold. Once the glowing heartbeat of bustling cityscapes, neon signs lit up the mid-20th century with mesmerizing hues. By the 1960s, however, their heyday began to fade. Once a symbol of innovation, neon signs faced competition from cheaper, safer alternatives like fluorescent and incandescent lighting. Concerns over lead content in neon glass also hastened their decline, pushing businesses toward modern, environmentally friendly options. The arrival of LED technology sealed their fate, offering brighter, more energy-efficient solutions. While neon signs have largely become obsolete, their legacy endures in vintage nostalgia and artistic revival. They remain an emblem of a bygone era, sparking memories of the vibrant, flickering glow that once defined urban nightlife and roadside Americana. Another symbol of timeless allure was making its mark, one that wrapped itself in luxury and sophistication.
Now, fur jackets are, very frowned upon. There's a huge stigma around them, and rightfully so.
Fur coats were the epitome of luxury and status, draping the shoulders of the stylish elite as symbols of affluence. They provided warmth and glamour, gracing everything from bustling city streets to high society galas. Made from mink, fox, and sable, these coats were often the centerpiece of a chic wardrobe heavily featured in films and fashion magazines. But as the decades rolled on, attitudes shifted. Concerns over animal rights and environmental ethics reshaped public opinion. Faux fur emerged as an alternative, offering similar aesthetics without the ethical cost. Today, the fur coat is a relic of a bygone era, outshined by innovation and changing values. Once necessary for warmth and style, it now serves as a reminder of evolving fashion and social consciousness.
Hold up. Look, I brought a disc, and we could copy this, okay? And we can play it on my brother's computer.
Okay, no problem. All we gotta do is... Whoa.
Floppy disks emerged in the 1970s, offering a portable way to store and transfer data. IBM introduced the first 8-inch floppy disk in 1967, which was capable of holding 80 kilobytes. This was a game changer for businesses and personal computers alike. By the 1980s, the more convenient 5.25-inch and 3.5-inch versions became the standard. The 3.5-inch disk was particularly popular with its hard plastic case and 1.44 megabyte capacity. Floppy disks made file sharing simple, sparking practices like SneakerNet, where people physically transported disks. However, as technology advanced, CDs, USB drives, and cloud storage replaced them. Today, floppy disks are a relic of early computing, treasured by collectors and remembered fondly by anyone who lived through the digital revolution. A simple game of virtual table tennis started a gaming revolution back in the day. We are talking about the Pong video game.
You're watching the most exciting game you will ever see on your TV set. Telstar by Coleco, with 3 different games. Telstar Tennis, with digital scoring.
Pong was the game that started it all. Created by Atari in 1972, it became one of the first commercially successful arcade games. Its home version, released in 1975, allowed families to play on their TVs. The console featured variations like tennis, hockey, and squash, giving players hours of fun. The simplicity of Pong, 2 paddles and a bouncing ball, made it addictive. Competitors quickly created their versions, flooding the market with similar games. As gaming technology evolved, Pong consoles faded. Yet, they remain a nostalgic symbol of the gaming industry's early days, paving the way for today's immersive games.
What are you listening to? This Remco transistor radio I made myself. Want to listen? Gee, the ball game!
Small and portable, the transistor radio revolutionized personal entertainment, letting people carry music, news, and sports wherever they went. Its sound quality was modest, but its appeal lay in offering privacy. American teenagers embraced these pocket-sized devices in the 1950s, tuning into rock and roll away from prying parents. Japan's Sony led the charge, and by the early 1960s, millions of Americans owned them. Teenagers sprawled on lawns, beachgoers grooved to hits, and sports fans followed live commentary anywhere. This cultural "what if jewelry could read your emotions?" Mood rings promised just that in the 1970s. Mood rings burst onto the scene in 1975, using thermochromic liquid crystals to change color based on temperature. People believed the colors reflected their emotions. Blue for happiness, black for stress, and so on. These rings became a sensation, combining science and fashion into a fun accessory. Though their popularity waned by the late 1970s, mood rings returned in the 1990s during a wave of vintage nostalgia. Modern versions have improved durability, but the concept remains the same. Mood rings are a playful reminder of an era that embraced self-expression and curiosity. Another era of innovation reshaped a completely different domain, instantly capturing life's moments.
A piece of the sun to turn bad light into good pictures. Red are reds and blue are blues.
In the day, Polaroid cameras revolutionized photography, delivering instant gratification in a world accustomed to waiting days for film development. With the click of a shutter and the whir of mechanics, these boxy marvels would spit out a square photograph that, like magic, developed before your eyes. Polaroids transformed memories into tangible keepsakes within seconds, becoming a cultural icon for capturing candid moments, from family gatherings to artistic experiments. But as digital cameras and smartphones emerged, the once essential Polaroid became a nostalgic relic. Despite their decline, they've left an indelible mark, inspiring a resurgence in instant photography among vintage enthusiasts.
新しい顔がやってきたディスコンマック新しい顔に合う顔はこれかこれか
The boombox exploded in the 1970s, blending cassette players with AM/FM radios and powerful speakers. Loud, proud, and portable, boomboxes brought music to the streets and shaped a generation. Music lovers carried these portable stereos everywhere, turning sidewalks and parks into concert venues. The boombox became especially iconic in urban culture, playing a major role in the rise of hip-hop. By the 1980s, boomboxes were cultural symbols featured in music videos and movies. Dual cassette decks allowed for the creation of mixtapes, making music personal and shareable. As Walkmans and iPods took over, boomboxes faded, but they're now beloved collectibles, representing an era when music was bold, loud, and shared with the world. Their ingenious device revolutionized how we shared stories and memories, blending technology with a personal touch.
The new Ensco-matic, the A-plus slide projector from Ensco. It's the world's only fully automatic projector to take all popular slides.
Once a staple of family gatherings, classrooms, and business meetings, the slide projector was the pinnacle of visual storytelling technology. These ingenious devices allowed users to project 35mm slides onto a screen, magnifying cherished memories or critical presentations to dazzling, full-size glory. The journey began with shooting a roll of slide film, like Ektachrome, developing it into vibrant, positive images, and carefully mounting individual frames in slide mounts. These mounted slides were then loaded into a circular carousel, ready to click through, frame by frame, evoking audible gasps or applause from captivated audiences. Though replaced by digital and smartphones, slide projectors remain a symbol of an analog era when sharing photos was a deliberate, hands-on ritual of connection and creativity.
The 675-watt Amana radar range microwave oven has quality features: 2 timers, stainless steel interior, glass oven tray that catches spills and juices.
The first commercial microwave oven, the Radar Range, debuted in 1947. It was enormous, weighing over 750 pounds and mostly used in restaurants. Microwaves didn't start as a kitchen staple. They were giant machines that paved the way for quick modern cooking. In 1967, Amana introduced a countertop version, making microwaves accessible to households. These early models were pricey but revolutionary. By the 1970s, microwaves became more affordable and compact. They transformed cooking by heating food quickly and easily. Now, almost every kitchen has one. The early microwave ovens represent the start of a culinary shift, bringing convenience into everyday life. Now, how cool would that be if something as small as a matchbook could light up not just fires but stories and memories too? Matchbook covers were small but powerful promotional tools. In 1892, Joshua Pusey patented the matchbook design, creating a portable way to carry matches. Charles Bowman improved it by moving the striking surface to the outside for safety. By the 1940s, matchbooks had become colorful advertising canvases. Businesses used matchbooks to showcase logos, slogans, and art. People collected them, turning philomeny, the hobby of collecting matchbooks, into a cultural phenomenon. Over time, disposable lighters and anti-smoking campaigns caused matchbooks to fade away. Today, they remain nostalgic collectibles, preserving the designs and stories of a bygone era. Now, let's dive into a device that once embodied the very essence of productivity.
Typing motions are confined to your fingers.
Typewriters once revolutionized communication and efficiency in the mid-20th century. Originating in the 19th century, early models like the 1873 Scholes and Glidden brought typing to offices and homes, paving the way for decades of innovation. By the 1960s, typewriters evolved into sophisticated machines, offering shift keys for uppercase letters, margin controls, and electric models for faster, fatigue-free typing. These tools were indispensable for businesses, writers, and typists in high demand. Electric typewriters, consuming minimal power, represented a pinnacle of efficiency, capable of remarkable speed. Yet their dominance was short-lived. The advent of computers rendered typewriters obsolete, but their legacy endures. celebrated as icons of ingenuity and progress in the history of written communication. Bell-bottom jeans made waves in the 1970s, but their roots go back to 19th century sailors. Wide legs and groovy vibes, bell-bottom jeans were more than fashion. They were a statement of freedom. The wide leg design allowed quick rolling up in wet conditions. In the 1960s, counterculture movements embraced them, turning surplus military uniforms into bold fashion statements. By the disco era of the 1970s, bell-bottoms hit their peak. Celebrities like Jimi Hendrix and Cher wore them, pairing them with platform shoes. Although trends shifted to slimmer styles in the late 1970s, bell-bottoms resurged in the 1990s and remain a symbol of creative, rebellious style today. Knee-high tube socks were everywhere in the 1970s and 1980s, worn for sports, skating, and style. Colorful and comfy, these socks were more than just footwear, they were fashion icons. Made from a stretchy cotton nylon blend, they came in bold colors with signature stripes at the top. They were practical, providing comfort and staying up during active play. Tube socks were also a style statement, often paired with shorts or skirts for a bold look. By the 1990s, they had faded, but they've made a comeback recently. Now, they're worn as retro fashion pieces and athletic essentials, proving that timeless style is always in demand. Imagine buying a rock in a box and calling it a pet. It sounds odd, but it worked.
I've cleaned over 1,000 records with this. I've been pretty serious with this little Humming Guru ultrasonic cleaner. And is it still working? Am I still happy with it?
In the 1960s, vinyl records were the pinnacle of music technology, offering the clearest, most immersive listening experience available. Artists crafted entire albums meant to be enjoyed side by side on a turntable, and record stores were the epicenter of music culture. The 12-inch LP became the format of choice, allowing full-length albums to showcase an artist's vision in a way that singles could not. With needle-tracing grooves on a spinning record, vinyl became synonymous with the music, providing sound and a ritualistic experience, from carefully selecting an album to the iconic crackle of the needle hitting the groove. By the 1980s and 90s, however, compact discs and digital formats pushed vinyl to the fringes of the music world. The convenience of CDs and later digital files seemed to signal the end of the vinyl era. As vinyl faced a decline in the 1980s and 90s,
Welcome to my very first Tupperware party.
Tupperware parties were the ultimate home-based sales phenomenon in the 60s. Invented by Earl Tupper and promoted by Brownie Wise, these parties allowed women to gather, socialize, and demonstrate the revolutionary airtight containers that were once a kitchen necessity. The gatherings became a key part of American home life, with hosts earning commissions on sales while showcasing durable, practical products. What started in a humble Orlando hangar grew into a nationwide network of enthusiastic salespeople, reshaping how people shopped. Over time, however, as retail options expanded and home shopping channels emerged, Tupperware parties became obsolete. Today, the once vibrant social gatherings are nothing more than a memory of mid-century homemaking culture.
The pet rock begins its life on the beaches of Baja California. Dahl is the man who created the pet rock.
Pet rocks became the ultimate novelty item in 1975. Gary Dahl, the creator, marketed these smooth stones in cardboard boxes with air holes and training manuals. The idea? A pet that required no effort, no feeding, walking, or cleaning. A perfect pet for all the low-maintenance lazy owners. The concept and clever advertising made pet rocks a holiday sensation. Over 1 million were sold within months. While the fad quickly faded, pet rocks remains a quirky example of how humor and marketing can turn the simplest idea into a massive trend.
If you could put Tareyton's charcoal filter on your cigarette, you'd have a better tasting cigarette.
Cork-tipped cigarettes were designed to make cigarettes safer by filtering out harmful components. though manufacturers never acknowledged their full impact. Originating in the 1930s and gaining widespread popularity in the 50s, these cigarettes featured a distinctive cork-like filter intended to reduce the intake of tobacco fibers and smoke particles. As health concerns about smoking grew in the 1950s, these filtered cigarettes were marketed as a healthier alternative to unfiltered brands. But despite their popularity, cork-tipped cigarettes have now become obsolete. With increasing awareness of the dangers of smoking and advances in health research, what was once considered a necessary innovation is now a relic of the past, replaced by more effective solutions or no smoking at all.
Your tigers for a bash ride. It's such a long time since we went away. Mom says you're a superstar.
Hippie vans, especially the Volkswagen microbus, became symbols of the counterculture movement in the 1960s and 1970s. Freedom, love, and adventure. Hippie vans were more than vehicles. They were homes on wheels. Their roomy interiors and customizable designs made them perfect for road trips, festivals, and communal living. Decorated with peace signs and psychedelic art, they embodied the free-spirited lifestyle of the era. By the 1970s, they were everywhere, transporting groups to concerts and protests. The oil crisis and modern camper vans led to their decline, but they've returned. Today, they're celebrated as icons of peace, adventure, and individuality, inspiring new generations to hit the open road. Seersucker suits became a summer staple thanks to their airy, puckered fabric. Originating in India, the material was brought to the U.S. in the early 1900s. New Orleans tailor Joseph Haspel popularized it in 1909, offering a cooler alternative to wool suits for sweltering southern climates. By the 1920s, seersucker became a hit among Ivy League students, blending practicality with preppy style. The fabric's distinct look gained popularity at outdoor events and summer gatherings. Although air conditioning reduced its necessity, seersucker has made a stylish comeback. Today, it's embraced for its charm and connection to classic American fashion. So, what was there before your sleek LCDs? Enters tube televisions. Over, DVDs, Blu-rays, and streaming services slowly pushed VHS tapes into obscurity. Now, those bulky tapes and clunky players are relics of the past, replaced by high-definition, on-demand content.
For today, I'm going to be trying on my entire belly ring collection for you guys.
In the 1960s, belly button rings were all the rage, a trend that defined a cultural moment. Once seen as a bold and essential form of self-expression, navel piercing symbolized youthful rebellion and style. This body modification gained popularity through the years, with many associating it with femininity, sexuality, and freedom. The piercing, often adorned with a decorative ring or jewel, drew attention to the midriff and became a staple in fashion. However, the trend waned with time, and belly button rings once necessary for those seeking to stand out became obsolete. Some still cherish the navel piercing, but its heyday has passed. What made a simple plastic ring become one of the biggest fads of the 1950s, captivating millions and shaping a generation's idea of fun. Let's
see how easy it makes your cleaning.
In the 1960s, the canister vacuum cleaner was an essential household companion, celebrated for its power and versatility. Unlike today's lightweight bagless models, these vacuums were bulky, with a separate motorized canister connected to a long hose. With their sturdy metal frames and distinctive rolling design, they could easily tackle large spaces and deep carpets, making them a must-have for homeowners. The canister vacuum's suction power and ability to reach tight corners made it indispensable for thorough cleaning. But as technology advanced, sleeker and more efficient designs took over, making the canister vacuum a relic of the past. Now, a symbol of mid-century modern convenience, these vacuums are a nostalgic reminder of how far we've come in home cleaning.
When you hate to see
your old TV,
it's time for Samsung.
if you feel in doubt,
Then throw it out.
Tube televisions, or CRTs, were once the pinnacle of home entertainment. Using cathode ray technology, these TVs displayed images by directing electron beams onto a glowing screen. Bulky and heavy but revolutionary, tube televisions brought entertainment into homes like never before. By the 1950s, families gathered around their TVs for news, sports, and shows. The designs evolved, with larger screens and color displays becoming common by the 1970s. However, as technology advanced, slim LCD and plasma TVs replaced CRTs. Tube TVs faded away by the early 2000s. Today, they're vintage collectibles, reminding us of the excitement of early television and the magic of shared viewing experiences.
If you ask Ma Bell, she'll tell you that San Diego County has about 11,500 coin phones, and another 1,000 come on the line every year.
Payphones were essential public devices from the late 19th century through the 20th century. Before everyone carried a phone, these booths were lifelines for staying connected. The first coin-operated payphone debuted in 1889, allowing users to make calls by inserting coins. By the 1940s, these booths were everywhere, in train stations, streets, and businesses. Payphones became iconic urban fixtures, appearing in countless movies and stories. However, mobile phones eventually rendered them obsolete. By the 2000s, payphones began disappearing rapidly. Today, they're rare but nostalgic, symbolizing an era when communication wasn't always at our fingertips. Portable music made personal. Walkman forever changed how we listen to our favorite tunes.
It's a lamp that you can't read by, but it's responsible for stealing hours from our lives, with its vibrant colors that tumble, float, and sink endlessly.
In the groovy glow of the 1960s, lava lamps became an iconic symbol of the era's psychedelic vibes and counterculture cool. These captivating lamps, invented by Edward Craven Walker, captivated minds with their ever-shifting blobs of wax floating like molten dreams in vivid colors. They weren't just lighting fixtures but statements, revolutionary decor for rebellious spirits. Originally a novelty item, the lava lamp became a must-have for hippie dens, college dorms, and mod living rooms, offering a calming, almost hypnotic allure in a world awakening to change. As the decades rolled on, their popularity flickered, replaced by sleeker, smarter lighting. Yet the lava lamp endures as a retro relic, a funky reminder of when chill vibes and vibrant design merged in a timeless dance of light and liquid. The Sony Walkman, launched in 1979, revolutionized music by making it portable. Compact and lightweight, it allowed people to listen to cassette tapes anywhere. The design included headphones, letting users enjoy private music experiences on the go. By the 1980s, the Walkman became a cultural icon, shaping trends and music consumption. It encouraged mixtape culture and personal playlists. Though MP3 players and smartphones replaced it, the Walkman remains a nostalgic reminder of when carrying your music felt revolutionary. Now let's step back in time and discover how a groundbreaking invention brought the power of cinema into the comfort of your living room.
Get a Sony Betamax video recorder and automatically videotape that show while you're doing something else and watch it anytime you want.
Betamax video recorders redefined home entertainment, marking a leap into the future of media. Compact and innovative, these devices brought the magic of cinema into living rooms, allowing viewers to record, rewind, pause, and replay moments with ease. Competing with the emerging VHS format, Betamax was celebrated for its superior picture quality and advanced features like adjustable tracking and color settings. Though companies like Sony led the charge, Betamax's appeal was universal, embraced by tech enthusiasts and casual users alike. However, by the 1980s, VHS gained the upper hand with longer recording times and wider compatibility, relegating Betamax to history.
Toaster is ideal for busy commercial food service operators
who produce 300 slices or more of regular bread each day.
The pop-up toaster, patented in 1921 by Charles Strite, transformed how people made toast. Early models like the Toastmaster, launched in 1926, introduced automatic timing and spring mechanisms to pop out perfectly browned bread. By the 1930s, toasters became household staples. Designs improved over the years, with features like adjustable browning settings and wider bagel slots. Today, toasters are everywhere, evolving with modern kitchens while staying true to their original purpose. The simple pop of toast remains a comforting start to any day.
Creativity means capturing his intensity. You try, John. Me? Sure.
In the 1960s, manual film cameras like the Nikon F and Canon F1 transformed photography, becoming essential for professionals and enthusiasts. The Nikon F, launched in 1959, set new standards for durability, precision, and versatility, establishing single-lens reflex dominance. In 1970, Canon introduced the F1, a professional SLR that rivaled Nikon's reign. These cameras required users to manually adjust focus, aperture, and exposure, fostering a deep connection between photographer and subject. While digital technology has largely replaced them, their craftsmanship and timeless design continue to inspire modern photography, preserving their enduring legacy. While the art of photography celebrated precision and craftsmanship, the 1960s record player, a cultural icon of its time, brought music to life in homes across the globe. With its needle cartridge delicately tracing grooves on vinyl, it transformed analog signals into rich, warm melodies. Whether spinning Beatles classics or Motown hits, the crackle and pop of these players became a hallmark of the era's music experience. Record players weren't just devices. They were gathering points where friends and families came together to share the magic of sound. However, as technology marched forward, cassette tapes, CDs, and digital streaming pushed these engineering marvels into obsolescence.